Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the books that I'm going to read in August. I'm going to read what I want in August. It is my birthday month, so I'm going to just choose books I want to read. Now, the issue is there's so many books I want to read. I want to read like all of my books. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to continue big series in August. I feel like I'm going to continue like the Wheel of Time, of Fire and Blood, other series later in the year. I'm thinking like September or November, not August. I don't feel like continuing series. I don't want to leave it up to fate. I don't want the jar to choose for me. I think after having a really rough reading month in July, I just want to pick all the books I'm so excited to read and that I feel like are really good for summer because this is the last month of summer. So I want to pick books that will fit that theme. Now I'm also going to be receiving books for my birthday, so I will probably add books to this TBR as well. But I do want some structure. I want to have a plan because I have videos I'm going to create. I don't want to read a book, pick a book, read it, and then go pick another book. I'm not that kind of reader. I know that can be freeing for some people, but it's not for me. I have to have structure. I have to have a TBR. I have to have a plan. I'm not that much of a mood reader. I'm very goal oriented. I need to have a goal. I need to have a TBR. Even if I'm going to kind of mood read this month, I want to have a set plan. So I have a stack. Okay, I have 2 packages that I'm going to open with you guys. They're very exciting. Wait. Yeah, okay. This first one, I am for sure reading it in August. It is extremely exciting because this was sent to me. This is my first arc. I feel like a real YouTuber. The author reached out to me, asked if I wanted to read his book. He sent me the prologue. I'm so excited. So let's open this up. Sorry, it might be a little loud. Oh my god, this is so exciting. I could cry. I can't believe an author reached out to me to ask if I wanted to read his book. That's so crazy. This is Quiet Thunder by J.P. Harker. He has written 6 other books that are a part of a series. I believe this is his first standalone. This says, for generations, the Catavan tribe have lived as an occupied nation, content to forget their warrior ancestry and live under the Empire's law in exchange for their protection. But Karian, who wishes only for the quiet life of a farm steward, soon learns that her home is not as protected as she thought. The savage Syrian tribe have decided to liberate their neighbors from the Empire, regardless of what their neighbors think of the notion. For Karian, it seems the day of Catavan warriors are not yet over. So he is an indie author from Wales, and this novel is set in a fantasy world inspired by Celtic Britain and Imperial Rome. He said, Quiet Thunder is about discovering inner strength and the dangers of blind obedience and the dangers of revolution without morality. I'm so excited to read this. I feel so privileged that he reached out to me. He said that he saw my video where I read The Wheel of Time. So high epic fantasy, and I think he felt that I might enjoy his novel, and I'm super excited. When I read the prologue, I kind of felt this is similar to John Gwen. That was kind of the feeling I got from his writing, and I could not be more excited. So, oh my gosh, my first arc, I can't believe it. This is on the TBR. I'm going to read this so soon, and I'm so excited that it's a standalone. I told him, like, I'm like on the hunt for really good standalone fantasies that you like don't hear about. Like, I feel like the ones that I recently found are like older backlisted fantasies, and I want to like find more fantasies to add to that list because yeah, I'm so excited to read a standalone fantasy. So this is the first one going on the TBR. Quiet Thunder by J.P. Harker. The next book that I'm going to read that is going on the TBR is Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. My mom gifted this to my sister and I because she recently read it and loved it. It says, one spring morning, a stranger arrives in the small southern city of Golden. No one knows where he has come from or why. It says a story of giving and receiving, of seeing and being seen. It's about the power of creative generosity, the importance of wonder to a purposeful life, and the invisible threads of kindness that bind us to one another. I have a feeling this is going to be really good. I feel like it's going to pull at my heartstrings. I think it's going to be one of those books that like really makes you think. I know that this is a new release that's really popular. I might listen to this. My mom listened to the audiobook and really enjoyed it, but this is the next one going on the TBR. I'm excited about this little one. This is The Purple Cloud by M.P. Shiel? This says, a purple vapor, far deadlier than any bomb or gas, invented by man's genius, passes over the world and kills every living being but one. One person is singled out for survival and to meet the most bizarre destiny conceived by any mind, human or divine. This seems like it's going to be a very like fun, maybe spooky short story. My brother-in-law gave me, I don't know, 8 of these like small little mass market paperbacks, and I'm going to try to spread them out. This is the one I'm going to read in August. The picture looks so good in the back. I'm kind of feeling like this might be like an H.P. Lovecraft kind of like little short spooky story. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but that's just kind of what I think. I love the cover. I think this is going to be like a fun sit down and read it in one sitting kind of book. Another small book that, I really want to read this author, but there's another one that I kind of envisioned reading for August, and I don't want to read like all of his work too fast. We'll see if I read this one or another one by this author, but this is Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. I've seen online that this is kind of like Moby Dick, but a much shorter version. I have no desire to read Moby Dick. Like, there are classics that I know will be difficult and will be very lengthy, but Moby Dick is not one I'm interested in. This I've been interested in for a while, and I really want to read Ernest Hemingway. I have a feeling I'm going to like his writing just based off what people say about his writing. I think I'm going to really like it, but I do think I'm going to get The Sun Also Rises for my birthday, and that one really seems like a summer read, so I don't know if I want to read 2 of his works. I think I would want to spread them out, so we'll see if I read The Sun Also Rises or The Old Man and the Sea, but I do really want to read this. Maybe I'll read both. We'll see, but we're going to put this one as the Ernest Hemingway I'm going to read for this month. Very different to this stack. I am going to read The Raven Boys by Maggie. I can't say this last name. Wait a second. Did I just read a book by this author? I did. I didn't realize this is the same author. I read The Listeners by this author in June. Interesting. And that's a historical fiction. This is YA fantasy. I don't know if this is urban fantasy. I don't know anything about The Raven Boys other than like it was a very big series a while back. Some of my favorite YouTubers have like read this and really loved it. I think this might be urban fantasy. I've had high hopes for this for years. I really hope I like it. I don't know if this is going to be high school setting, and I've just read a few books in that setting and really didn't like them, but I don't know. My sister-in-law is currently reading this, and she was like, Jade, you have to read The Raven Boys. And I was like, I had plans to read it in August, so I'm going to try it. I really hope I love it. YA fantasy has let me down the past few months, but maybe this will turn it all around and I'll love The Raven Boys. But I'm almost wondering if this is something I would have enjoyed years ago. We'll see. I'm really excited, but I'm just nervous. I am so excited for this book. I've been dying to read more from this author because I love the Mistborn series. I'm going to read Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. I know that this is one of his earlier works. If not his first, I could totally be making that up. I think this is one of his earlier works. I don't want to know anything about it. I do know that the magic system involves color, and I think that's so cool. I read a romantasy where that was the magic system, and I told my sister, and she was like, that author stole that from Brandon Sanderson. And I really liked that aspect of the romantasy, but I didn't like the story at all. But I was like, ooh, like the color magic is really cool. So I'm going to read this, for sure. I'm reading this. I want to read so many more of his books, and I think I want to read some of his standalones before getting into the Stormlight archives, because those are so scary. And I feel like standalones this month, well, I guess The Raven Boys is not a standalone, but mostly standalone books. So this is what I'm going to read next. So I'm so excited, and I'm probably going to say so excited so many times, to read all of these books. But this one has a little bit of a special place in my heart. I haven't even read it yet, but just the cover. I'm going to read H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Moreau. Now, I think I'm going to like H.G. Wells a lot. I bought a few others by him. I think I like that his books are shorter classics, and they're all kind of seem spooky. But this specific edition I saw in Barnes & Noble when I was first getting into booktube. And there was, my Barnes & Noble used to have Penguin classics all together. And I was like, oh, let me look at classics. I will never read a classic, but I'm just going to go look. Because I was very much just reading YA and romantasy at that time. And I saw the cover of this book and thought that looked really interesting, and read the back, and I thought that seems really cool, but I didn't get it because I was like, that's a classic. It's going to be too difficult. It's going to be maybe boring, or I don't read classics. I thought it was too intimidating, so I put it back. And now I have plans to read much longer classics than this very short one. Does not intimidate me at all now. And I want to tell my younger self in Barnes & Noble, no, get into classics years ago. And I'm just I was so afraid of this book, but wanted to read it, but just was I don't read classics. And now I'm buying so many classics. I'm so thrilled to start reading a lot more classics. And I wanted this exact cover because of Jade 4 years ago that picked up this book and didn't get it. So excited to read this. I have 2 books that I want to be a part of my morning reading routine. I want to read a portion of these every day. So the first one being Beth Moore's Portrait of Devotions. This is a Christian devotional that my sister gave me that I started. I got 3 devotions in, and then I forgot about it. But I want to I want to read one every day. I'm going to keep it like on my desk, and I have a tracker in my journal because I do want to read more devotionals. And then I also want to start studying some philosophy. I'm going to read Plato's The Republic. I also love this edition. I got this for free, and I thought this was a cool edition. I know that we studied this in my philosophy class years ago, and I know I did not appreciate that class like I know I would now. And I had such a nice professor. He was a very good professor. He did not force any like political, religious beliefs on us. He just, you could tell he was very passionate about philosophy and wanted us to just like talk and discuss these subjects, and I just hated that class. And I knew it. I knew he was a good teacher, and now after being a teacher, I know he was a good teacher. Like, he was so patient and kind, and but anyway, but I've been curious to kind of get back into philosophy a little bit. And I know that this is not as intimidating as it kind of seems, but I'm very curious. And I know that like the story about the cave that I know we studied is in The Republic by Plato. So I want to read that again because that was one thing in his class that like really got my attention. The parable or the story about the man in the cave. So I'm going to start this in August. I don't know that I will finish it. I want, again, to look up how I should read this. But this is going to be kind of like a part of my daily reading. I have two that are kind of hopefuls. If I don't get to these two, I would be okay with it. Like, these I really want to get to. These I want to read, but I might not get to them. Because like I said, I'm also getting some for my birthday that I might prioritize. All right, I changed how I'm sitting because my left leg keeps falling asleep. But the two that I want to read, but just I may not get to them, they're hopefuls, are Why Fish Don't Exist, A Story of Lost Love and the Hidden Order of Life by Lulu Miller. I think this is nonfiction, and I really think I'm going to love this, but I feel like when I read this, it's going to be like meant to be. It's like, I'm going to read this at the right time, and I don't know if August is going to be the perfect time. We'll see if I'm able to pick it up. And then Never Let Me Go by Ishiguro. I have read one other book by this author, Clara and the Sun, and I want to read more of his work. Not a super big fan of this cover, but it's what's on the inside. And like I said, I want to read these. Oh, but there's some other books coming in the mail that are for sure summer reads. And I guess I don't know if Never Let Me Go takes place in the summer, but these both seem like they could be like summer reads. So, hopefuls. Okay, we're getting into the two big ones. These are extremely intimidating, but we'll start off with the one that everyone read recently, or maybe everyone's still reading it, but I feel like everyone's read this and everyone said it was like life-changing. Everyone loves it. And then the commercial came out for the show and I was like, no, I refuse to watch it. It like popped up on my YouTube, like, you know, watch this screen or whatever. And I immediately was like, not interested. And that is John Steinbeck's East of Eden. I have tried to read Of Mice and Men, and I did not like the narrator for that book, and so I just stopped reading it. I couldn't get into the story. I'm hoping that I really love this. So this is not actually the edition I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting the older edition that has the apples I love, but that one is no longer... That's like a discontinued edition of this book. This one's also very beautiful, but I did want one that was like different to everyone else's. But that's fine. I love the penguin blue spines, and I'm ready. I'm ready to try this. And I mean, I just read a book that is almost double this amount of pages. I know that this is like a retelling of Cain and Abel. That is intriguing to me. I do not want to see the show until I read the book. I think August is the right month for that, so I will be reading East of Eden. I want to do a reading vlog reading this. I want to like know, is this as good as everyone is claiming it is? Everyone's like, this is the best book ever, so I want to know for myself. And then let's open up this package. I thought this book was going to be a lot bigger. This I'm for sure reading this month. I think this is the book I'm thinking of. And I'm really hoping it's the edition that I picked, because sometimes when you get used books, you can pick an edition and you get a different one. Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry. Because there are 2 editions. There might be more, but in this publication, and I don't like the other one, I think this one is sick. Oh, it's a little beat up. Oh, it's kind of beat up. Okay. I'm going to read The Odyssey by Homer. I'm so nervous. I'm like prepping to read this. I'm currently listening to a podcast about this book. I feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Everyone's reading this right now because of the movie, but I want to read the book before seeing the movie. I know that this is going to be challenging. I know that, I mean, it's a poem. It's an epic poem. It's going to be unlike anything I've ever read, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm so, I'm nervous, but I think I'm putting it out there. I'm going to love this. I thought this was going to be like so thick. This edition is very thin. Now, I did not get the edition that everyone's buying, the Emily Wilson, and I wish this were her edition. I'm listening to a podcast with Emily Wilson talking about the Odyssey and encouraging people to read it. I'm going to finish that podcast tomorrow, and I'm loving it. I love how passionate she is about the Odyssey, and her, you know, I really like listening to her talk about it, and she's the one that translated the most recent edition of the Odyssey. However, that's the one everyone's buying, so I wanted one that was a little different, and I'm sorry, but I do not like the cover of her edition. It does not look epic to me. This looks epic. This looks very exciting, and I feel like no one's video have this edition. I don't know if that means this is not a good edition. I don't know who the translator is, and I'm learning that a translator for Kirk, is that the translator? I know that can make a difference in a classic book, but I looked it up. Apparently this is still a good edition. This was much cheaper because I did get it used, and I think this is my favorite cover. This is my favorite cover of the Odyssey that I've seen so far. And I wanted to try out an Oxford World Classic. I actually am going to get a few more because I think I would like to have a collection of Oxford World Classics and Penguin Black Spines. I want both. I've heard really good things about the Oxford World Classics. This has really good margins. I am so pumped to read this, and I feel like I'm going to be reading a lot of Greek mythology books in August because I'm getting a few for my birthday. I also want to reread Circe, which I know is a character in Homer, at least briefly. And I read Circe, so that is going to be another one added to the TBR, but I think I'm going to listen to it. I want to reread it because I cannot stop thinking about it. And that makes me even more excited to read the Odyssey, knowing that she is in this story. I don't think she's like a main character, but I know she is a part of Odysseus's journey. But look at this cover. Doesn't that look epic to you? This cover is so cool. I hope it's a good translation. I do want to read her translation if I love this. I've also thought, if I love the Odyssey, then I am going to read the Iliad, and I will buy her translation of the Iliad because that cover is really cool. And I think I'm appreciating her a lot just talking about the Odyssey. Like, I want to read her writing because I've enjoyed listening to her speak. So this is the book that I am adding to my TBR. It's quite the stack, considering I'm also getting a few more books. But I'm just so thrilled, so I'm trying not to say excited. I have such range here, guys. I have classics. I have YA, contemporary fiction, a fantasy, nonfiction. Like, look at this. Let me know if you've read any of these. Are you also reading the Odyssey like everyone else? Like I'm going to? Let me know what you think I should read first or what I should do a reading vlog on. I can't wait. It is actually currently August 1st right now because I think it's like 1 a.m. But I needed to pick up my books so that I can start reading today. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. I have reading vlogs that I'm planning. I have another book haul coming up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.